All right, we're back with talking movies. This is Cakes with Dave and Luke. We're gonna continue talking about documentaries. Dave has some harsh thoughts for us. Not harsh, strong thoughts. Okay, Dave, continue, please.
My thoughts are just observations that I am getting. Just kind of wanted to say some general statements about the genre of documentary and where I think some problems are maybe arising. And that's that it is just nonfiction in general is getting more serious. Even in literature, if you want to have a different perspective or your mind opened up to a topic, you read nonfiction or you watch a documentary. So, and the documentaries they're looking better too. They're using better cameras, and a lot of good directors have been making documentaries more and more throughout the years. I just want to say though too, ones that are getting popular, ones that get put in movie theaters, it's a shame that they have to be so political because they get slanted so easy, and it is a genre that is supposed to present facts to you, and I feel like maybe like that Obama movie that's in theaters now, that 2016 Obama movie. I don't know if I could just go see that because I kind of feel like, I mean, I can look at the movie poster and see that it's going to have a bias to it. I am not in the mood to go there and be brainwashed, essentially. I don't know. How do you guys feel about?
I think in any instance, it's kind of like the saying that any publicity is good publicity. I think about in musical terms with the whole Two Life Crew of the '80s thing. If anybody's ever listened to that Me So Horny CD or whatever, that CD is terrible. And the only reason it got popular is because it was so controversial. So, I think controversy is going to create buzz, and then people are going to see it because they're going to want to either take their stand on it or, complain about it to other people.
But it's just like the news, though, too. I mean, the news used to be just news, and now it's all opinion. So, I mean, yeah, it can get people talking, but, I mean, so can straight up facts.
Yeah, I think just what happened with the beginning of it was just when Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine made a lot of money. It's just, I think people saw that and like, oh, this is what people want and stuff. And then, and I think there is a right to have a political documentary, because sometimes there are subgroups that don't have their voice. But yet again, like, it does fall into that propaganda, and that's been an ongoing discussion forever in documentaries, and manipulation of the facts and stuff. But yeah, I just like one thing I have like no interest in seeing that Obama one. Just doesn't seem like there's no fact base to it. It just seems like it's just paranoia. But yet again, like, people are going to see it and it's going to make money, so there's going to be more of them. And I think it is a blemish on, it could be a left-wing documentary, it could be a right-wing documentary. I think they are a blemish to a certain degree. It's just, I think documentaries should be that way, but the market, there's always going to be a market for it, which is just sad to say, but I definitely think if you want to put something out, you should have some facts, and documentaries are meant to be, documentarians are supposed to be non-event, they shouldn't interfere with their own subjects or anything. They should just let the scene play out as is. That's what and if you watch the documentaries from the 70s and 80s and the early 60s, there are some really great ones that are very much like that. They might not be flashy like they are today, but they let the scenes play out. And I think they get more of a human thing. A perfect example, I think Hoop Dreams is probably one of the greatest movies of all time. And I honestly care about those people in that movie, and I think about them to this day. I wonder where they're at in their lives. And to me, that's the testament of great documentary filmmaking. And that's my final statement on that. So there's good and bad with it.
Yeah, definitely. Dave, do you have more to? No.
No, it's all you.
Well, I'm just wondering to you guys, what makes a good documentary, or what makes a good documentary, or is there a documentary out there that you haven't seen that you want to see, or is there a documentary you want to see made? That last one's kind of an open question, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, I think some like the best documentaries I've seen, like there was this really great one by Epstein called like The Life and Times of Harvey Milk, and that was back in '84. That really brought a lot of attention to the LGBT issues in the '80s that were pretty largely ignored, especially then, and obviously was later made into a movie by Gus Van Sant called Milk, which was really good too. But I don't know. There's kind of a lot to process in that question, I guess. But
Well, there's a few questions there, and I guess as far as good documentaries go, there is like, it's just people maybe don't question enough of like how we know what we know, or how the storyteller knows everything. And I mean, you were saying a little bit like about interfering with the subject. I mean, I think like those opinions can show through, but they can't be ambiguous about that. You have to be upfront about your opinion then. And then it's you present a better argument that way instead of just shying back and
yeah, I know what you're saying. I think like a good example of that, so kind of a blend of both, would be Spike Lee's When the Levees Broke, or God Willing and The Creek Don't Rise. I think those are very objective, but they're also, they kind of tell the story of a city at the same time. But yet again, they very much have a point to say, you know, with the first ones I was talking about government neglect and stuff, and then race and poverty, and then the second one was all about, you know, the oil spill in the Gulf that happened to be happening when he was making it, and it was just the anger. And to me, which I thought was really instrumental in that one, was he really tapped on that anger at that moment. So